Hey everyone, it's Chris at Service Autopilot. I hope you had a great holiday and it's been a good new year for you. And I want to talk today about setting up documents within Service Autopilot. For a lot of you, it's getting that time of year where you're starting to send out estimates, you're sending out marketing content to new clients, to existing clients, and things like that. So, a big element of that within Service Autopilot is actually building the documents in order to do that. So, I want to look at our document editor today. So, let's jump into the system here and we will create a couple of documents from scratch. So, we'll hover over the CRM portion of the software and click on Settings. And we'll click the second option that says Documents. Now, from within this list, you can create a number of different document types. You can create estimate document types. You can create client emails. You can create print document types. There's a number of different things. So let's just take the example of an estimate document. A lot of you are probably sending out estimates this time of year. So let's just add a brand new document. Now with estimates specifically, I recommend starting with one of our starting templates. And I'll show you why. So I'm going to click the drop down for document type and we'll select estimate. And we'll call this here my new 2016 estimate. And we can just use the same description. So let's just look over the interface here that we have really quick. We've got the editor right here and all of the tools that we have at the top. Most of the tools are really similar to what you'd find in a normal word processor. To the right of that, we have the personalization fields. Now, if you've ever used a mail merge, say within Microsoft Word and Excel, then you'll be pretty familiar with how this works. Essentially, if you use any of these personalization fields in your document template, then when you send that document out, regardless of who you send it to, that data is replaced with the contact's correct information. So for example, if I were to drop client first name by double clicking into my document, if I sent this to John Smith, it would replace client name with John. Or this is actually client first name is the field we're working with. It would replace it with John. So we'll look through some of these in greater detail here in a moment, but let's delete this. Now to the bottom right within your document editor, you get a list of pre-built templates that we've put into the system. A lot of them are really simplistic. Some of them are just kind of skeletons for you to flesh out to your company's liking. So in this example, we're working with an estimate. So I'm going to choose one of my estimate formats here to work with. In fact, I'll double click estimate format 3. And you can see when I do that, it automatically fills out my editor with something that's been kind of pre-built for you. Now, like I said, this is really generic at first, so you'll want to go in and make some edits. So for example, probably want to include the logo of my company. So let's move everything down one space, and then we'll double click the personalization field for company logo. Let's move that down one more. So now I can click on the logo and resize it to my liking. So we'll set it to something like that to try to give it like a sales letter type of vibe. And that logo will have come from your company settings. If you just recently signed up with Service Autopilot, there's a wizard that you actually walk through when you first sign up that helps you get that logo uploaded. So it should be in your account already. So below that, we've got some personalization fields, like I said, already filled out. We don't have to replace these with anything. They'll be automatically replaced when we send the document. Below that, we have some verbiage. Dear client, first name, you recently requested pricing. I can come in, I can change this to say whatever I want. If I wanted to say you recently requested an estimate from our company, I can have it say that. Now, the reason that for estimates specifically that I recommend starting with one of our templates is because it will include this section here that says do not modify or erase. There is functionality in the background of this editor. If I were to look at the source code, which we'll look at here in a moment, there's actually code behind this that will automatically replace this section that says do not modify or erase with the actual content from your estimate, the services that you put on the estimate, the prices. It replaces all of this section with the grid from within the estimates themselves. So you really need to start with the format here. Otherwise, what you'd have to do is memorize or copy and paste off somewhere the piece of the source code that's related to that functionality. So we'll toggle back. So that's how you get a quick estimate document set up. Now, like I said, we have templates for all different types of things. These can be used for collection letters. We have a first, second, and third letter, one that's more personal, one that's more professional. Use these templates, take them, adjust them to your liking so that it fits your company. Now let's just take a look at some of the tools up here at the top that will be useful to you. Number one is the source code. Now, I would really only recommend playing with this if you have web development experience. The reason that we provide this here for you is if you want to go and outsource the design of these letters to somebody, you could outsource it to a web design professional, and they could actually dig into the source code and really tweak the way that your document looks to your exact liking, and even use some HTML and CSS functionality in them. So we'll go back into our visual editor here. Of course, we've got all the basic copy and paste. We have a function to copy and paste from Word. So a lot of folks will come into Service Autopilot having these documents created already, and they're in Word. It's really crucial that you use this functionality when pasting from Microsoft Word, rather than just copying it to your clipboard on the computer and pasting it. Microsoft Word actually puts its own special formatting on things that a web editor like this, it's impossible for it to translate. And so this will actually run it through essentially a scanner. You don't see any of this happening, but it takes that Word coding and decrypts it essentially and puts it into HTML format. So you definitely want to use that. You can add grids of your own. There are sections to insert page breaks, forcing a page break somewhere in the document. This is really crucial for, especially with estimate documents, because a lot of people will set up their estimate documents to read kind of like contracts. And so there might be multiple pages with the terms and conditions of the contract and things like that. And so you can use this to ensure that the pages will break exactly where you want them to, because this is just a vertical editor that will go on and on and on and on, similar to a web page. You have spell check functionality here. And then lastly, the main item I want to show you that is kind of just outside of the realm of your normal Microsoft Word functionality, bolding and formatting, etc., is the uploading pictures functionality. So if I were to click this image, it gives me a prompt to select to upload from my computer an image that I want to include. So this is a great way to put images in the estimate that are kind of outside of your main logo, which we are storing in your account in Service Autopilot. So I hope that this has been useful to you. Like I said, you can create these documents for a number of different purposes. We mostly talked about estimates today just because that's the most detailed type of letter that you probably would create. But definitely use these for your collection letters. Use these for new client welcome letters. Use them for marketing material to promote new services to people. They're a really great tool, and you can access them through all of your email editors within Service Autopilot. So definitely take use of them. I hope this helps. Let us know if you have any questions. Thanks for watching.